In 1991, Iraq commanded the fourth largest army on the planet. Their forces were heavily entrenched behind thousands of miles of fortified borders, preparing for a massive ground war. The primary obstacle to victory was Kari. This integrated air defense system merged French computer systems and Soviet missile technology. It relied on a dense web of early warning radars, creating an overlapping net of surveillance across Iraqi airspace, ensuring no border point was unmonitored. If conventional coalition aircraft tried to push through the surveillance grid, they would be immediately tracked and met with an overwhelming wall of anti-aircraft fire. This created a lethal paradox for the coalition. They absolutely needed to achieve air superiority to win the war, but sending pilots to physically bomb those radar sites would be a suicide mission. To dismantle Kari, coalition planners had to abandon conventional tactics. Before they could drop a single physical bomb, they needed to attack the system's perception of reality. The ultimate solution was a new kind of combat, electronic warfare, the highly classified tactical manipulation of the invisible electromagnetic spectrum. The opening move was a tactical deception. Secret coalition operations launched a massive swarm of small tactical drones straight toward the Iraqi border. This diagram shows how the deception worked. The drones were equipped with specialized emitters. While the drone is physically minuscule compared to a heavy bomber, the artificial radar signature it broadcasts is mathematically identical to one. When Kari detected these signatures, the system reacted automatically. Believing a massive invasion was underway, Iraqi commanders turned on every targeting radar they had. That reaction was exactly what the coalition was waiting for. By powering up their active radars to track the phantoms, the Iraqi defense grid broadcasted all of its secret, hidden locations directly to coalition sensors. This deliberate trick forced the defensive machine to open its eyes, exposing its most vital and vulnerable nodes for the next phase of the assault. With the targets now clearly mapped, specialized electronic warfare aircraft like the EF-111A Raven entered the battlespace. These aircraft executed a tactic known as jamming. They locked onto the specific frequencies the Iraqi radars were using and flooded them with a targeted wall of electromagnetic noise. Think of a security camera monitoring a dark hallway. Jamming is the equivalent of walking up and shining a high-powered flashlight directly into the lens. This image shows a typical radar screen display used by air defense operators. Inside the Iraqi command bunkers, glowing data points like these were completely washed out by a sea of static, hiding the actual incoming coalition strike force. Because of that static, the data feeds flowing from the early warning systems to the actual missile batteries were completely severed. The jamming tactic successfully detached the eyes from the brain of the machine. The deadly surface-to-air missile batteries were left deaf, blind, and unable to coordinate. While radars were choked with static, advanced F-117 stealth fighters slipped through the airspace completely undetected. At the same time, low-flying attack helicopters executed precision strikes, diving under the broken radar nets to hit specific communication nodes. But the final, most lethal tool in this phase was the anti-radiation missile, a weapon designed specifically to hunt down active electromagnetic emissions. These missiles locked on to the chaotic noise being broadcast by the Iraqi operators. Once they caught the signal, the missiles simply rode the radar beams directly back to the source. The physical impact was devastating. Coalition missiles obliterated radar dishes and communication towers across the desert. By destroying these key physical nodes, Kari was permanently shattered. It devolved from a terrifying, cohesive network into scattered, useless islands of disconnected hardware. When the heavy conventional bombers finally launched the main air campaign, the sky was completely clear. They faced virtually zero coordinated resistance. The coalition achieved absolute air supremacy with astonishingly low casualties. What made this victory so staggering was the speed of the collapse. A heavily fortified national defense network was systematically taken apart in a matter of hours. Operation Desert Storm proved that military conflict had expanded well beyond the physical domains of land, sea, and air. The electromagnetic spectrum is now the primary, most critical battlefield. The defeat of the Kari network demonstrated a shift in the nature of conflict. Physical borders no longer offered protection to those who lost control of the unseen electromagnetic spectrum. From this point on, whoever controlled the data would dictate the outcome in the physical